Thanks for stopping by to check out this 52nd episode of Vintage Audio Review. Since I post one video per week, that means I have been doing this for a year, and I would like to thank everybody who has subscribed and liked videos and commented. In this particular video, I'm going to talk about this Reinhart speaker. Now, Reinhart is spelled R-E-I-N-H-A-R-T. I was unable to find anything out about the speaker other than on the Vinyl Engine website there was a picture of a three-way version of the speaker and some discussion that it was designed or built by a man named Richard Hartman, who did recording studio work and supposedly built his own speakers or had them built for the recording studios that he was putting together. If you have any information about these, it would really be nice to learn more about them. The reason I have these is I was over at my buddy Ian's place and he said, hey, check these out. And I listened to them and I thought they sounded really nice and said, hey, why don't I measure them for you and do a review? That would be kind of fun. So that's why they're here, and I'm going to take off the cover. It does have a foam cover which is intact. Now, we think these speakers are from the mid to late 70s to mid 80s, just kind of what they look like, and the fact that he did have to refoam the woofer mid-range on them. So let me pull this off, the grand reveal. So you can see that we have about a 1 1/4 inch soft dome tweeter, I believe it is. We have a 2-inch bass port, and we have an 8-inch mid-range bass driver here. There are some binding posts in the back, just standard three-way banana jack binding posts. And that is it. There is no other markings on them. And as far as the physical characteristics, they weigh 30 pounds. And they are 14 inches by 9.5 inches by 22 inches as far as the box dimensions. What I did first to listen to them was to hook them up where I normally have my Klipsch KG2s, which you can kind of see in the background here. And I had these on without the grills on, and I listened to them for a couple days. And I thought that they sounded really good. They did not appear to have as much bass as I thought the KG2s did. I thought they may have had a little bit more on the high end of the spectrum. But if somebody had just swapped the speakers out and left the grills on these, and I didn't know they were swapped out, I probably would not have figured it out for several days. I think they are very comparable to the Klipsch KG2s. You can kind of see as they have extended the bass mid-range driver out, and I'm guessing that has to do with helping out the time delay between the bass and the tweeter. As far as the design goes, I measured both the impedance of the speakers and the 1 meter on-axis response of the speakers, and you'll see that data in just a moment. There is a difference between the two speakers. One of them seems a little bit smoother than the other, but they're pretty close to the same. I also measured the KG2 speaker for the sound pressure level, and you can see that as well. For the frequency response measurement, I was 1 meter away from the front of the calibrated microphone, and that would be measured from this area here, and I had the microphone pointed at this spot right here. Also, I set the power level going into the Reinhart speaker such that at 1 kilohertz I was measuring 2.83 volts at the speaker terminals from the amplifier. And that was the same when I hooked up the Klipsch KG2 speakers. I did a measurement with and without the grill, and you will see those results as well. I only did that on one speaker, and I believe I only did a measurement with the grills off for the KG2 speakers. I also measured the impedance using my QA402 audio analyzer, and you will see those results as well. Overall, I thought these are a very nice sounding speaker. I have a feeling you're not going to see very many of these, but hopefully somebody will have a little bit more information on them they could share. But if you happen to see some somewhere and you can pick them up for a good price, I definitely would do so. Ian had refoamed these, so there's a good chance that if you purchase these, you would have to refoam them as well. Other than that, this is kind of a quick review on this mystery Reinhart speaker. I guess my video last week was rather long, so this one is just happens to be short. I will say that I was pleasantly surprised that my observations just listening to the speakers were borne out by the measurements that I did on them as far as the frequency response. Once again, I thank you for taking time out of your schedule to watch this video. If you have not subscribed to the channel, that would be very nice. And if you like the video, it would be nice if you click the like button. And until next time, have a great day or night. Here is a plot showing the speaker impedance for both the Reinhart speakers. The most important thing I think to note is that they never get lower than about maybe 5.5 ohms or so, and that like right here and right here. And we do have a difference between the two speakers. One of them seems to have a peak at about maybe 45 hertz here. This has a maximum impedance of maybe 28 ohms, where speaker number one has a maximum impedance of maybe 24 ohms at 60 hertz. So if we look at the phase of the two speaker impedances, the other one was the real part of the speaker impedance, and it shows that once they get to about 100 hertz, they're darn near identical. There is some difference in phase at the lower end of the band, but they're showing not more than, less than 20 degrees of phase variation throughout the band, and they both seem to vary about the same. So speaker number two does seem to have some more discontinuities in its phase response, and we did see some of the real part of the impedance had some discontinuities as well. But that is what the speaker phase looks like on these mystery speakers. Here we have the frequency response plot of the Reinhart serial number 1 without a grill on. And I'm going to go ahead and show the response when the grill is on. And you can see there's not a lot of difference. With the grill on, it has maybe a little bit better high end, but very, very little difference between the two. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the grill off, and I'm going to put on the second Reinhart speaker without a grill. And you can see that guy has a much better high end response. Other than that, it looks pretty much darn near the same. It just has a better high end response for whatever reason. So we'll keep that guy up, the one with a better response, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Klipsch KG2 frequency response with no grill. And you can see, like I thought, it has a better low frequency response. Let me go highlight the Klipsch. So that's the one that's highlighted now, and you can tell that the low end of the band, it does have a much better bass response, and it is a little bit smoother in here, and overall at the high end of the band it has a smoother frequency response. This particular Reinhart speaker does have a bit better high end response, although it's not so smooth, and it does have a suck out here. If I pull up the other Reinhart speaker without a grill, let's do that guy, and I'll highlight him, and you can see that it is very similar to the Klipsch, except for it has this suck out here. Both the Reinhardts tend to have a suck out in this area, and I'm pretty sure that's not room related because the Klipsch doesn't show it. But once it gets past that point, say at 9 kilohertz, it very much follows the Klipsch. It doesn't have as much gain at the high end of the band as the other speaker does. And like I said, both speakers have suck outs kind of in here and here and here and here. And these kind of things here are most likely related to the response of my imperfect room.